Welcome back to the allotment, boys and girls. It is a kind of chilly March morning. We've just had that big storm last night and the winds were really kicking up. Now it's the day after, so I've nipped down here just to come and see if there's any damage, and I think I got away with it. No damage to the greenhouse, no damage to anything else, no sheets like blown around, no fences come down, so this is all a good thing. It is still quite breezy now, so if you're hearing a bit of wind noise, then that is because it is a bit breezy today. Right, yeah, back down on the plot. I'm going to give it a decent run today. I'm going to give you a quick look over what I've done since the last visit that you've seen. Now, I've marked out this area here. This was just a large grass area. There was a small bed where I had me run of beans in the last couple of years. However, I think like it's been a bit of a wasted space, so I've marked out where I want there to be a bed and covered it over. That's just with things warming up now, everything's going to start sprouting into life, so at least while it's covered, it's not going to be getting any worse. Then what I can do is just like uncover it bit by bit as I'm digging it over, and then I'll put a nice border around it. I think a lot of people would call that a raised bed, but it's certainly not a raised bed, it's just a bed. Little bed like that, just a bed. Raised bed, much higher. Yeah, so that's that anyway. So all them sheets have stayed down, that's quite nice. Moving across, all the other beds are dug over now, including the flower bed. Took out no end of artichokes. Oh, took out no end of artichokes. That sort of affair there. Now, they are quite nice, but they are also quite invasive and they spread like crazy. They were just at the edge of this bed here. Beautiful tall plants when they do grow, like part of the sunflower family, and you can eat the fat roots in the bottom. Artichokes as they're called, because they can affect your body in that sort of unpleasant way. So yeah, all of they've come out now, so that just leaves this bed all nice and empty. You can see some of my flowers are starting to come back through. That's a looping bush from last year, that's starting to sprout. And obviously where a lot of seeds have gone down, there's a lot of other things sprouting up. There's a little loop in there. Oh, I don't know if you can see that one, but that's a little lupin. So I shall certainly leave those to do their thing, because I love a lupin. The other stalks are from the foxgloves, they don't seem to have come back yet. But there's plenty of time. Goodness gracious me, I've got the sunshine right in my face. Let me go and get an angle. Let me go and get an angle. Alright, the daffodils, they're all flying up now. As you can see, some of them have got the flower heads coming up. So hopefully we'll be rewarded. Stupid tongue. The bed with the big hole in it that I fall down. You can just see that's the start of my, well, I can't remember the word. Come on, everybody knows it, rhubarb, that's it. You just see the crowns there are just starting to sprout through. Some of them have got themselves a little bit ahead than the others. But yeah, as I said before, something had a nibble on them. Just got to keep on top of hoeing this bed now, because now I've turned it over, I'm going to have uncovered lots and lots of weed seeds. So as soon as they start to germinate, I'm going to be able to knock their heads off. Other things that show up like this, that's obviously dock. That'll need to be properly dug out, otherwise I'm going to get a recurring problem. So yeah, whilst these perennial weeds are a pain in the arse, you can, pain in the derriere, you can keep on top of them, just keep an eye on your beds. Obviously things have been having a good old dig as well. So, always get them visitors. You can see where I've manured the beds as well. There's loads of manure that's been pulled off onto the ground, again by creatures digging and so on and so forth and so on and so forth. I quite like the freshly dug beds actually, because you can see evidence of the animals that have been visiting your plot, little footprints and all the rest of it. Maybe not now at the moment, because it's been raining quite heavily, so that's covered them up. So I'm trying to find the right correct angle without making you all throw up. Now, I have put in my garlics. This was the first lot that I sowed. Excuse me, just pull out a bit of a weed. Yeah, so they've gone in, they've stood up quite well now, they've been in there a couple of days. I've gone quite close. I've gone about 5-6 inches between the plants, so, and then about a foot between the rows. So they're all in there now. That's lovely. I did look at that and think, wow, that's not a lot. So, like a stubborn goat that I am, I've sowed a load more. So there's another tray and a load more in here as well. Well, you know, that's just me. Greenhouse now, I'm pretty sure that these aren't supposed to look like this. Aren't they meant to like throw up a big bud and then the whole thing flower at once? I don't know. I mean, I'm quite happy with them. Look, they're quite pretty. Purple and white hyacinths. So yeah, I've got a little bit of colour out here already. And then there's not much sign of anything out of my pots of leeks that I've done yet. They were done last week. Oh, we have. Now, I don't know if my camera will be able to pick it up, because it is the most... Come on, Matt, this is getting boring. There. You see, little green, that's the first one that has germinated out of my Mr. Fothergill leeks. And the Ailsa Craig onions, they've all started to germinate as well, which you can start to see those sprouting the little heads up. So, yes. No sign of life out of the broad beans yet, but I put those in last week, so plenty of time. So that's it, looking across the plot at the minute. So it's just that that extra bed at the bottom there that I've created just for more growing space. The fruit trees, and then obviously this flipping great monstrosity as well. I've moved a bit of my bits and bobs onto there as well. So yeah, I mean, it's I've had a little bit of an exploratory dig, and it is pretty much how I expected it to be. Obviously the brambles and the nettles are all in, so if you can imagine the kind of mess that you get when you're talking about brambles and nettles, you know, you try and get your fork into there, and yeah, that's the sort of thing that you're faced with. So it'll certainly be an interesting challenge. I'm still on the old just keep it trimmed for a year or two to see if it recovers sort of point of view at the minute. But it's cleared anyway, it's cleared, which is a nice first step. Now, this might seem fairly obvious, but patch of ground like this, best tool for digging it over is the fork. Now, the reason I say that and not a spade is a spade has got a habit of chopping straight through your roots, which will chop them all up, whereas a fork is going to go in between the roots, keeping most of them intact, so when you lift the soil you'll be able to dig those out a lot easier. If you use your shovel or your spade, you're going to chop all these roots into pieces, so certain plants, dandelions, docks, couch grass, mare's tail, yeah, there's a real list. You chop them up and you're going to multiply your problem. You take a piece of couch grass and chop it into little pieces. Each one of those pieces is going to grow. So for me, I'm just going to go through with the fork, lift the soil, get as much of them roots and as much of those plants out as possible, and then hopefully that'll leave me with a nice bit of soil that I can just keep on top of with the hoe, just to knock off any new plants that germinate. Right, when I'm going, yeah, quick change of outfit. Essentials for this job then, I've got my wheelbarrow, I've got my gloves on, and I've got my fork here. So, straight away, first fork in, we've found couch grass. So, these roots here, as you can see, there's the grass sprouting out the top. All that you'll see on the surface is just this innocent little sprout of grass, but then underneath there's this. Now these runners will run from one bed to another, they'll shoot underneath the ground, they will sprout up at random places, so you're best getting as much of this out as you can. Again, that piece of couch grass, now you've got 2 couch grass plants, now you've got 3 couch grass plants. So again, it's best, first time that you dig in, don't bother rotivating, you can make your problem a lot worse, because again the rotavator blades will cut this up. Just get as much of it out as you can. Right, so I've now dug enough of an area over to create my first bed. So I've got these timbers out that you can see strewn around. They've just come from a sheet metal pallet. I was lucky enough to get a lot of those from a local sheet metal company, so thanks to them guys I can get another bed dug. With this bed I didn't want to make it so big that I couldn't reach into the middle of it. What I want to try and avoid doing is stepping physically onto the soil, because that's just going to compact it. Certain times that doesn't matter. If you're growing brassicas or anything like that, they want a nice hard ground, but in general you don't want to be walking too much on your beds and compacting them down. So yeah, I'm just going to get those timbers in now, put a stake in each corner, drill them to it, and that's me bed done. Yeah, and crack on. Yeah, the wind's still kind of a bit choppy actually, so I don't know how any of this is going to sound. I'm just going to keep talking, and hopefully when I get back to the editing suite it won't be too bad. Yeah, I've put in a couple of beds down here. So yeah, this was just that patch of land. Hello. This was just that patch of land that was pretty useless. In year one I did plant my corn down here, but then in year two I just sort of let it go to waste a bit. So this year I've just put a couple of beds in there. I was going to dig the whole area over, and then I thought, hang on, how am I going to get in the middle to weed it and that? So I've just decided just to put these in. They're about 2 metres each, so what, 8 square metres of digging area. That's not too bad, on top of what I already got, of course. So yes, I'll see the polythene over there. That's going to be another bed when I get round to it. In the meantime I've just covered it up so that it doesn't cause any more trouble. Yes. So I think with that, that's certainly enough growing area for me to make my own produce on, which leaves that top area up there for the wildlife, which is I think the way that I'm going to go forward with it really. I'm not going to try and get any produce on it, because I know what will happen. It'll just all end up getting wasted. There's only so much that one can eat, only so much that one can keep on top of. So I'm thinking like wildflowers and, you know, just a nice area for the wildlife, keep it under control, stop the brambles taking over, stop the nettles taking over. Probably have a few nettles on there because they're good for butterflies and such, but yes. Look at this. Put mulch on my beds and some little terrorist animal or others like knocked it all off. I don't know, never mind. I suppose it's a dicky bird or something like that, isn't it, looking for its dinner, and a dig round for the worms. So yes, that's. Have a quick look up at it from this end. As you can see, they're not level at all just yet. I've put the timber around there, but rookie mistake, I forgot to charge my batteries on my drill. So that'll be a quick job for me when I get round to it on another visit. So yeah, I'm ready, spring ready. Yeah. So yes, I'm going to retreat now into my shed, shut the door. Hopefully the camera will compensate. Ooh, there I am, and probably do a bit of sowing. Strawberries. I'm going to sow some from seed. Slightly unusual method, because most people buy them either bare rooted online, or they can go into the garden centres and buy them already pre-grown in pots. Growing from seed does take a little bit more patience, because they are going to not crop in the first year. It'll take an extra year for them, but you know, I think it's worth it. Just to be able to have the plants that I know that I've grown from scratch. It's just ever so slightly more rewarding. The variety that I'm going to sow today are these ones. I'm going to use these little pots here. So I'll just start out by filling them up. Right, so there's my 10 pots filled. Oh. With the strawberry seeds, you just want to be pressing them into the damp compost. You don't want to be burying the seeds or putting any compost on top of them. So with that in mind, I'm just going to water the compost, make sure it's nice and damp for them. Now here comes the fiddly bit, trying to get these seeds out without losing them, because they are tiny. You see those there? Just tiny, tiny little specks. so we're going to have to be careful. Now, like I say, all you want to be doing is just pressing them lightly into the surface of the soil. So, I'm going to just moisten my finger, and that should just pick up one seed. Press it slightly into the compost, and it's stuck to my finger. No, it hasn't, it's gone. It's gone. So, yeah, that's 40 strawberries just pressed lightly into the surface of the compost. Now, with us having done that, obviously the seeds are sitting on the surface, so when it comes to watering time, just don't flood the pot because the seeds will float up, possibly move out and everything like that. I'd say the best way to plant these is probably from underneath. If you put the pot in some water, the compost will draw the moisture up, just enough to keep it damp. You do just want it moist, you don't want them wet, because wetness causes moss and it causes mould. It's not good growing conditions for your plants. So just moist, just so that when you feel it, a little bit of compost sticks to your finger. You know, you don't want to be feeling it actually physically wet. So I'm going to cover these over now. I'm going to find a piece of glass, just to put that over the top. I'm going to forget about them for a couple of weeks, and then hopefully we'll see some germination. The next thing that I'm going to grow is some of my brassicas, or sow should I say. You can't grow them until you sow them. So yeah, it's about that time now. I've got cauliflower all the year round, pretty standard. I've got the green marble F1 Brussels sprouts from Wilco's. I have got these are seeds from last year, green calabrese, broccoli, and I'm going to go for the golden acre because they come free on the front of Kitchen Garden magazine. Ooh. I'm going to sow about 20 of each, I think, so that's half of one of these 40 seed cell seed trays. So if I just go half, yeah, what can go wrong? And then whack it in. Right, so there we go. That's me seed tray filled up with compost. Now, the brassica seeds, I say brassica. Brassica is a family of plants which includes cabbage, cauliflowers, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, you know what I mean, those sorts of plants. Now, they've all got very similar looking seeds, and all the seedlings are also very similar looking. So if you are growing more than one type, make sure you label them up, because believe you me, I've done it 100 times. You forget what you're planting, you think you've put your Brussels sprouts in, and up comes a cauliflower. You know, it's too easy to do. So the seeds themselves, let's have a little look at them. Oh, let me just hold my hand out for you. Little dark reddy brown balls. See if it'll focus for you on those. In this pot, no, in this bag rather, in this packet of seeds, contains 500 cabbage seeds. So you're never going to want 500 cabbage seeds unless you're a commercial grower, or unless you absolutely love cabbage. So like I say, half of this pot here, I'm going to plant 2 seeds in every cell, and then I'm going to be merciless, because if both of them germinate, I'm killing the smaller one. Yes, I am. The reason I do that is if you put one in and that doesn't germinate, you've got an empty cell, you've got to put another one back in, it's going to be behind the others. So for me, I'm going to put 2 in every cell, pull out the weak one. Now, all I'm going to do is just create a small dimple in each one of these. I've dipped those holes probably only ½ an inch, 10 mil or so. In, 1, 2, 1, 2. This could take a while, so here's a time lapse of me putting 2 seeds into every cell. So, all I'm going to do then is just cover them over. Don't forget to label them. Cabbage. Don't forget to put the date you sowed them on. Stick your tape label in, and then you want to water them. Now when you're watering them, don't get too over the top, because these seeds float. So if you wang a load of water in there, your seed's going to float back up to the top, possibly drop out of the tray, possibly just sit on the surface of the soil. So just nice and gentle. If you've got a fine rose on your watering can, that's good. If not, you can get something like a bottle of water like this. You can stab a couple of holes in it. So, and then that just gives you a nice fine spray. Doesn't always come out the neatest, but you know, at least you're not hosing them. Those being brassicas, they don't need a massive amount of warmth to germinate, so I'm certainly not going to have to take them home and put them on my kitchen windowsill. I've got a greenhouse here. I'll keep them in the greenhouse and forget about them for a week or so. We'll come back and have a look. Well guys, that is it for another visit now. Only a short one today, so what have we done? I've dug 2 extra beds down at the bottom there. I've sowed a few of my initial veggies, so I've done some of my brassicas and that. The old greenhouses are starting to fill up again now. So yeah, I've got leeks and onions at the back there. And then under glass there's a couple of the flower varieties that I bought. So yes, that one's starting to get there. Sorry about this wind. Onions and garlic in there. And then peeking through the window, that's my potatoes chitting away. That's my reflection. Hello. And what were they? They were my strawberries. So yes, I'll get all of them beds straightened up. They look a bit wonky at the minute. That's because I've not screwed them all in, as I say. Ran out of battery. Amateur mistake. So to sum up, it's windy, it's wet. Winter has re-emerged again after that nice warm spell in February, but I think we all knew that it would. I hope everybody is having fun sowing seeds and getting the fingers dirty for the first time this year. Yeah, thank you. You all take it easy now. Horrible, 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 horrible. Ooh, nice, 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 nice. Ooh, lovely, lovely.